If you've ever been stressed, depressed, anxious, overwhelmed, and try to manage it with stress management tools like meditation, breath works, yoga, exercise, or any other myriad of tools out there, and found out they don't work for you specifically, in this video is specifically for you because I will tell you what's the main reason why it doesn't work for you. And the main reason is simply you don't want it to work for you in the first place, period. So what I mean by that is either consciously or subconsciously, there's part of you that is identified with the causing factor of the stress and don't want to let it go. Let me give you an example. Let's say you have to give a presentation to an investor, and part of you believes that this is hard, very important, and if you fail, you're gonna die, your family gonna die, everyone around you gonna die, and therefore this is really, really important event for you. And obviously, because it's so important, it's life and death situation, you are stressed about this presentation because it's really, really important. And you try to do all kinds of stress management tools, and of course they don't work. Why they don't work? Because first of all, part of you really, really want to believe that this is really important and there's no other way, and if you don't perform well, you're gonna die. So basically your brain is trying to signal this is really important, but your conscious mind interprets this, oh, I'm gonna fail. And instead of actually releasing stress, preparing normally and doing preparations with joy and actually optimizing your performance, what happens? There's too much stress. So first of all, part of you really, really doesn't want to relieve stress because there's not enough acknowledgement that this thing is important, I'm gonna do my best, and everything's gonna be fine, and no one's gonna die, hopefully. So another reason is that when something is really that important, the amount of stress management we do is less than necessary to deal with the stress in the first place. So quite often people have stress, let's say someone calls them a bad name, and then they're stressed, pissed off, angry at this person and everyone else they meet on their path for the next couple of hours, maybe sometimes a couple of days. Why? Because they're stressed, and the amount of importance they gave to this thing is so big that you will need to probably do a couple of hours of yoga, at least 20-30 minutes of breath works, or any other things that would actually be able to offset the input of original stress and the stress that being continuously generated by the mind. And a lot of people who haven't practiced meditation, mindfulness, awareness, don't really realize how much conscious mind keeps repeating and causing stress from moment to moment. And if we don't stop these thoughts, we continuously put our body under stress, and that generates and accumulates capacity, fills our stress batteries. And in order for us to get de-stressed, first we need to remove the actual stress and then drain the stress battery. So basically we have a kind of accumulation of the stress, and in order to actually release it, we need to get rid of all the accumulated stress. And more stress we accumulate, the more effort we need to put in. Specifically when we're talking about things like burnout. So you've been person under the burnout, they've been accumulating stress for weeks, months, maybe sometimes even years, and suddenly they might be subconsciously, sometimes consciously expecting to get rid of it with day 2, maybe 3 days of rest, in which they actually not really resting, they still continue because brain is being trained to go on a certain pathways, certain patterns, and of course in one day, most of the times, unless you have a really big impact like hypnotherapy or pattern interrupt, brain is going to be going the same direction as be going for habitually. That means direction of burnout, stress, and of course there's a resistance of going different direction, relaxation, peace of mind, flow state, and all these juicy and really highly productive states. So what happens? Part of you in this case doesn't really want to go into the happy states. So what happens then? You need to do more of a stress management. You need to want to get rid of stress. So these two key aspects is, first of all, recognizing what do you really want, and then doing it till it actually works. So instead of saying breath work doesn't work for me, which is actually caveat to that, breath work always works for everyone. However, sometimes breath work honestly is not the fastest way how to reduce the primary stress. So sometimes instead of going straight to the breath work, sitting down for meditation, it is more beneficial to go out for a walk, dance, shake, go to the gym, box, release stress physically, do actually motion. And then once you release the main stress, then you can transition to some more finite tools. It's like when you're going into construction. You can have a tractor to rip down the wall and do it really fast. Or you could go down with a pencil and try to scrub out the wall, pinch the hole in a wall, and then try to break down whole wall. Yes, pencil might do some damage in a couple of years, maybe, but it's not the best tool. Doesn't mean the pencil cannot do it. It's like water. Everyone knows the power of water. You could be putting high pressure of water at the wall and leave it for a couple of years, and at the end, at some point, wall will break if the pressure is high enough and if the water is put on there for long enough. So even water will work, just about time and effort. Same goes for stress management. There's so many different stress management tools. First of all, we need to want to use them. So we need to want to get rid of stress. And I know it's tricky because quite often, whenever we're stressed for a reason, because we need to do something really, really important, and there's obstacle. We're stuck. We're feeling like we don't have any choice. And in these moments, it is hard, but it's quite simple. We need to take a break, realize, regroup, retreat, release the mind, assess, refocus, because what happens in a stress brings the mind into the high focus, like a laser beam. And as long as the laser beam aims in the right direction, awesome, stress is really helpful. However, if we lose track and laser beam now points in completely different direction or slightly off the aim, happens we get even more stress, because then we get this negative chronic stress and our body intuition says we're not going in the direction we're intending to go. So there's a kind of alarm system. And when that comes up, feeling low, drained, all these things, those are signals that we're not doing something right. We need to change our approach. And in these cases, we need to understand, acknowledge, and stop. Regroup and set a new target. And the best way how to do that is de-stress. So when we de-stress, we open up the focus wider and we see the big picture. Suddenly we see more than before. And then we can find the target easier, refocus, and go back into the hustle, bustle, work hard, and all these things. So, hope this video helped you to realize that yes, stress management tools always work, and they're not equal, however, they always do work, as long as you actually apply them and want to have results. So, hope you really gained lots of value. Have a magical day and see you on the next one.